Okay, we ready to go? Ready to advance to phase 3? So let's take a look at the top end of this banner. Titus, Zack, Kamari, and Cloud. We're back to 2 chains. And not only are they 2 chains, but they're 2 very, very good chains. Cloud USB, songs have been sung, legends written, and it deserves it. Being able to break the damage cap, auto-critting, and just having a 30% damage boost to just everything. It just makes it crazy. So that's a... If you're gonna have a banner with only 2 chains, that's a great addition to the 6-star section, just like Bart's USB. Is Titus chain good by itself? I can personally attest that yes, yeah, it is. Titus chain is fantastic by itself. And that's what I'm going to go over right now. Titus's chain soul break. A fleeting dream. 11 single attacks. Water chain grants quick cast to all allies. What I said about Creel also applies here. Quick cast to all allies is as good as it gets when it comes to chain effects. Water chain on a character that has no difficulty dealing water damage, using Sapphire Shot as his 5-star ability. It's one of the best, should be one of the most sought after relics in the game. Really, really good. Really good. No, you don't spam it. You don't want to do that because you reset the chain by doing that. You just use the chain once. And then you use 5-star abilities to start beefing it up. Sapphire Shot every single turn. And have other people capitalize on that damage increase. Though him with his Legend Dive, which he is definitely Legend Diveable with just his chain, can dual cast those Sapphire Shots. So that's even better. So that was an easy one to go over. It's just so amazing. It kind of transcends what else I can say about it. Next up, we have Zack's Chain Soul Break. Which is a kooky one. Lucky Stars. Win chain 20%, but from there, it just gets weird. It's the only chain in the game that doesn't deal any damage. Attack plus 50% for 25 seconds and grants crit damage plus 50% for 25 seconds. Attack 50% is a pretty good buff. Loses effectiveness when Onion Knight's USB comes into play, but that just means that if you're running Zack, then you run a different type of Heiska. Which sucks, because in order to take advantage of this critical damage plus 50% to your entire team, you do want that crit. So what do? Do you just suck it up and use Onion Knight anyway to give yourself the crit damage up for the entire or the crit rate up for the entire party to use with the crit damage, and have an overlap of the attack plus 50% buffs? You know what? Maybe. But let me think. What kind of attack Heiskas could work really well with this chain? You could Vessel, but then you're not getting the crit rate. But, I mean, Vessel works because just having Onion Knight in your party is already a big help. Because he can do whatever the hell he wants. Red 13, attack plus 30%, defense plus 30%, and resistance plus 30%, and Astra to party. Astra is also called Status Blink. And prevents you from being afflicted with a status for the first time that it happens. And that'll stack with this, and though you don't get the benefit for the critical damage, it's still a potent USB to use together with this. In which case, I'd want to use something like Echo's Burst Soul Break as my healer to give everyone the crit rate up. But honestly, it's tough. Onion Knight's USB is so good that I'm almost willing to just take the overlap of the attack 50%. So as I'm finding out, it is a little bit awkward to use this and where the meta is going to be going. Because there aren't that many relics that perfectly match up with this. But the thing is it's strong enough because it's a chain that it kind of makes up for that. I don't understand what people's obsession is with it being reflectable, right? Because every single boss. Yeah, when bosses reflect, who cares? How about that one thing that Tyro gets? Yeah, that works well, Bliven. Tyro's USB 3. Heiska, defense and resistance plus 200%, Proteka and Shelga. It doesn't add to the crit damage plus 50%, but it's a damn good Heiska that matches up perfectly with the attack plus 50%. So, hey, it's good, just like Red 13's is. Anyway, that's Zach's chain. So let's say you use something like Tyro's USB 3 or Red 13's USB, and you sacrifice that crit damage plus 50% to the Ether. Does kind of reduce what the enhancer provides, right? Well, not really, because there's people in the game, including one specific wind character that provides their own source of crit rate, and that would be Cloud, who also happens to be on this banner with the USB that gives him 100% crit rate. When it debuted on the Cloud Awakening banner, so what seems like so long ago now, on July 4th, it was obvious Cloud USB and Zach CSB were made to go together, and them being on the same banner right now is a very good thing. So you don't really have to add a crit rate to the party if you have someone as strong, obscenely powerful as Cloud taking advantage of that crit rate plus 50%. Yeah, Orlando gives himself plus 100% crit rate as well. Okay, so let's say I've gone over 3, because let's just say Cloud's USB, if you don't have it, is so powerful that I know you want it. Unless you don't like Cloud, which there are those people out there. They're hipsters, but they exist. Those 3 are very good 6 stars. The next one could be, potentially. Kimahri's USB is not bad. Kimahri's USB is a tri-buff. Attack, magic, and resistance plus 30%. Grants water, radiant shield 75%. That is an excellent water soul break. A buff grants water, radiant shield, which is powerful, especially when combined with chains, because each tick off of the radiant shields onto the boss advances the chain. And, you know, it just so happens that the water chain is on this banner. No, he does not, SN Perry. So that's really good. There's just an issue here. Kimahri has no way to deal with water damage. He's a Dragoon. He gets... what's cool is, as a Dragoon, he gets access to Combat 4 and Support 4 through his Record Dive. So he can either Wrath or Life Siphon if needed. But why would you do that? When the attack and magic and resistance buff has a 25-second duration and there's no reason to refresh it before then. Water Radiant Shield has a 30-second duration. No reason to refresh it before then. So why keep using Soul Breaks? Because Kimahri's BSB is an Imperil Water BSB and gives him the ability to deal water damage. And here's the grand clowning of this banner. It doesn't have his BSB on it. So if you don't have Kimahri's BSB, his USB is actually just it's hard to even make a case it being good or worth using. But you know, at the very least, I think it is only the second one in the game. It's a bracer. It's a 6-star bracer. That's it's got some nice stats on it. Oh yeah, he does have good commands on his BSB. It's actually a good BSB. He has one of those commands that makes up for the fact that it deals less damage than 5-star abilities by healing the lowest health party member by 25% of their max HP. That's a very good burst command. Why isn't Kimahri's burst here? It would actually make him a cool character and, you know, good. He would require entrusting, but it would be worth it. That Radiant Shield, the hybrid party buff, the heals provided to the party, the Imperil on the entry to his bursts. Like, it's a good soup. I like it. It's just not on this banner. So I have to throw that in a miss category. Like, I like the Soul Break. I think the Soul Break itself is really good. He just doesn't really... He's dead weight. Other than casting that Soul Break on a water team. So let's look at the other 3 6-stars. Double Edge, awesome. Zack's CSB is very, very good. Especially, most specifically, with Cloud. And Cloud happens to be on this banner. And that's our 3rd 6-star. One of the best 6-stars in the game, Cloud's USB. I think that gives us a really good banner to look forward to. So we just hope we can find some value in the stuff that's lower. And starting off in the Burst Soul Break section, we have Yuffie's Burst Soul Break 2. This was originally supposed to debut in a record mission banner, which also had Kimahri's USB on it. But it didn't because we never got that, so it's here instead. Well, let's take a look at it. Doom of the Living. Well, the very least, it wins a contest for one of the best names. Okay, we see, and one of the things that makes Yuffie one of the enduring good characters in the game, and in the future one of the best characters in the game, is she has a lot of instacast going for her. And this is no exception. Instant cast Imperil Water. And the commands. 2 single range, grants physical blink to 1 to the user. It is half cast time, but still 2 single range is unusable. And range attack, Smart Ether 1 to the user. For a single packet of 1.66 damage. Both of these commands are garbage. But that's okay, because most burst commands are garbage. What really matters is the entry itself, and the entry is instant cast. Instant cast Imperil means that this is actually a good burst. And Yuffie has access to some of the most powerful 5-star water abilities in the game. The ninja abilities, which are really, really good right now. And for some reason that I cannot explain, and I don't think anybody else can, they get buffed. They get buffed in the future, making this a very good burst. Because Yuffie has access to the most powerful water 5 stars in the game. And it's the entry's instant cast. It's just really great. Right, exactly. There's basically no way her burst commands could live up to how powerful those ninja abilities are. Those ninja abilities are so powerful, it makes using 2.5 second cast time soul breaks not even worth using anymore. You basically need to use instacast things to make it worth breaking your chain of using those 5-star abilities. That's how powerful they are. And this burst soul break is instacast. It makes it worth using. I actually really like this burst. Next up, we have Cloud's Burst Soul Break 2, which is a very good addition to this banner, because it's like Kamari's Burst Soul Break to what Cloud is. Cloud's USB is wind and dark damage, and that's fine, because I mean we're looking to flesh out wind, right? This is a wind and water banner, so let's use Cloud on a wind team with just his USB. All you can do is use his USB and then either one of two things: Life Siphon and then use his USB again. Or use the 5-star Area of Effect Spellblade, Tornado Strike. Or you can just go straight non-elemental and use Omega Drive. The Ultimate Blade, his Burst Soul Break 2, gives him another option. And it's a very important one because both of these together turn him into a wind powerhouse. Because the entry is powerful. It gives him End Wind and gives him access to some real wind abilities. And the second command is a self buff. Multiplier increases with user's attack. Caps at 0.65, just like Guy. So it's a 2.6 multiplier. That is better than Tornado Strike. So he can self-buff himself with the second command. And then his most powerful wind attack that Cloud has available to him is his command 1. So you could potentially use Cloud as a standalone character with just his USB. And then Life Siphon up to also using his Burst Soul Break. But this now makes him a great target for entrusting too. Turns him into a really powerful wind character. And that's what we're looking for from these banners, is a strong elemental. And now we have I'm gonna evaluate these two together. Fusion's Burst Soul Break and Alphino's Burst Soul Break. My reaction to these being here on Discord earlier today was these two relics have overstayed their welcome. Fusion's Burst Soul Break is good. Outside of Magicite dungeons, it's a destructive force on mage parties, where it reduces the magic of the enemy and reduces the resistance. So it's like an all element in peril, as well as being a powerful debuff. It's a great burst outside of Magicite, and it's definitely the better of these two at the end of the day, as far as like their continued recurrence. I feel like these are part of every festival. Is there any brave soul that wants to like look and see how many festivals both of these have been a part of? You know what? Alphino's Burst Soul Break came out in January of this year. Yuffie's USB and USB 2 are both good. Alphino's Burst Soul Break has been on every single festival. Every single festival, bar none. And I think in every single festival, it was paired up with Fusion's Burst Soul Break. It's overstayed its welcome. If you do not have either of these, lucky you. These are good pulls. Magical Wind is not anywhere near as expansive as Physical Wind, but I personally have both of these, and I've personally used both of them to sub 30-second Golem. Of course, there is a very, very big thing that does not occur here that allowed me to do that, and that's Fusion's disgusting Super Soul Break. But they played a big part. They're very powerful soul breaks. I know there's a lot of us veterans out there that have pulled on the Final Fantasy XIV banner that Veil of Wu originally was on, and then have, somewhere or another picked up Fusion's Shin Chakram. If not on the event that it came out on, which was a good banner, but the Renoa CSB and Fusion OSB banner. It's two blank spots for a lot of people. That's all it is. Especially because you have the physical chain on this banner that gives a plus 50% attack buff. If you look at Locke's physical chain, he can fit onto a mage team. Zac can't really. You can. The chain is that powerful. It's still worth using, but God, does it hurt losing that 50% attack buff and 50% crit damage increase on Zac's chain. So seeing Magical Wind stuff appear on this banner is kind of unfortunate. There's other stuff that they could have put here. Hell, Lunet's Burst Soul Break. Sid, Final Fantasy VII, his awesome Burst Soul Break could have come on this banner instead of this magical stuff that is just so common. And here's the worst part that I have not mentioned yet, is that Alphino's Burst Soul Break is one of the worst dupes in the game. It's a book. It has no plus element. It's basically a Rosetta Stone if you already have one. Because nobody can use it. There's very few characters in the game that can use it. So anyway, I've dished on the presence of those two too much. I'll carry on to Bartz's Burst Soul Break 2.
Once again, thank you for joining us.
Bart's Bristle Break 2. I'm not. There's nothing to go into. It's just it's basically there to give Bart's and water. Most specifically to use with his USB. So if you have his USB and you don't have his Bristle Break 2, that actually makes this kind of a weird hit on this banner. And I am one of those people, and I would consider it a hit if I were to pull on this banner. I have Bart's USB, but not his Bristle Break 2. This would be a pretty good pickup. So after Fusion, we have Edge and his BSB, which is fine. It's water damage. It can play a complementary role on a water team. It's fast water damage, but I think it runs into a problem where Yuffie's BSB 2 doesn't, is that it has a cast time. You can cast it, and that's fine to give him N water, but then you're just going to go back to casting ninja abilities. So the N water's nice, but as scary as it seems in some situations, it's not even going to be worth using over ninja abilities, as long as you get the hones. If you don't have the hones on the ninja abilities, and I understand if you don't, because the primary on ninja abilities is Dark Orbs, and Dark Orbs are the most in-demand orbs in the game. So I get it. I get it if you don't, which makes this actually a pretty decent burst, because that gives you an effective 2.5 second cast that isn't spent using your honed abilities, that you can increase the effectiveness of those honed abilities after you're done casting it. So that's nice. And Edge does have a 35% chance to dual, 35% chance to dual cast on his Legend Materia 2. So he makes one of the better ninjas in the game due to that. So this isn't a bad pickup. It's kind of weird that this is on this banner, because this is probably where Kamare's BSB should have been. But hey, I can see people making use of this, and it's more than I can say for a lot of bursts. Next up, we have Titus's Bristle Break 2. No, Dark it only has one primary, and that's Dark. Yes, ninja abilities also use a lot of ice, but Dark is the primary, and that's going to be your bottleneck. Titus's Bristle Break 2 is an excellent Bristle Break. It deviates from a lot of the norm. It's not an element, but like Yuffie's, it carries that crazy awesome benefit of being instant. Sonic Strike 7.2. So not only is it instant, but it has a lot of other effects too. It's definitely about as powerful as some USBs. Attack and defense plus 30% to user. The entry is instant, and it provides a charge of instacast to him. This is a great Bristle Break. And what's really nice about this is that instant, coupled with 10 single ranged attacks, that makes this a great Soul Break to pair up with his chain. So an issue that I run into on my water team, because I have Titus's chain, is that Titus has it's my only Soul Break for Titus. Titus runs into an issue where he doesn't have anything to do with his Soul Break after he's casted the chain, because you don't want to recast the chain, right? This gives him something to do. And it's not a bad thing to do, it's an incredible thing to do. Self buff, instant cast 1 to the user, and 10 single attacks to add to the chain is a very nice thing that this is appearing on the same banner as his chain, because it's an awesome thing to have both of these together. Yes, Titus's chain is awesome enough to be good by itself. Together with this, even better. Next up, Zack's Burst Soul Break. Is a very good thing to appear on this banner because this is how Zack can deal wind damage right now. Zack runs into the same issue as Kimahri, in which Zack doesn't have any way to deal wind damage except through a 2-star Celerity ability or a 3-star Spellblade ability, which, you know, come on. But Zack's BSB allows him to actually deal sustainable wind damage after using his CSB. All right, I lost train of thought there for a second. Zack's Burst Soul Break by itself is actually quite good as well. And that's, for one reason, is because it's an Imperil Burst. Imperil Wind. And for the second is that it actually has good commands, unlike most bursts. Because the commands are half celerity cast time at 0.6. That's even faster than ninja cast time. So that significantly makes up for the fact that it's only a 1.88 multiplier on his first command. So 4 single attacks at 0.6 cast speed is very quick. And that is exactly what you're looking for, because you would ideally want to cast this after casting his chain, right? So you cast his chain, his Burst Soul Break, then you just start firing off fast command 1s, and you work up the chain for other people in the party, like Cloud. Yeah, it's pretty far away, Negators, unfortunately. Which is why it's a good thing that Zack's Burst Soul Break is on this banner. Otherwise, he's a fish out of water. How would I run Zack if I didn't have his Burst and just had his chain? Dervish? Yeah, probably Dervish. It's not elemental damage, but at least it's has a decent multiplier on it. And Zack is primarily a celerity character, so he gets plus celerity damage in his dives. Okay, so that's our Soul Break section, which is actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. This is a good burst. This is a good burst. This is a good burst. It's a good burst. And then when you add on to the fact that this burst has a very good pairing on the same banner with Titus CSB, Zack with his CSB, Cloud with his USB, and Yuffie is just a good burst. It's actually a good Burst Soul Break section. Even without the dreadful dupe of Veil of Wii. And Fujin's Burst Soul Break, for reference, is a plus wind thrown weapon, which is good. And is not a bad dupe at all. The total opposite of Alphino. So, if you only have 1 or 2 of these, then I wouldn't be scared of getting another. Remember, Barts can use thrown weapons, so in some situations, this may be the best weapon that Barts can use. It's crazy that's how that works, but it is. So the LMR section, which is unfortunate, because Titus's LMR is really, really good, and Cloud's LMR is pretty good. I would have liked to see those two. I understand Zack because these are the two true headliners of the banner because they're the chains, Zack and Titus. But why aren't Zack and Titus the LMRs? Another complaint I have with this banner compared to the first banner, which did everything correct. But let's take a look at the LMR themselves. So Yuffie. 25% chance to grant physical blink 1 to the user after using a ninja ability. This is a good LMR to pick up for Yuffie. She becomes one of the better characters in the game, believe it or not, in about 3 months' time. And she does for multi-elements. She does for every element that ninja have available to them. Earth, water, and dark. And her LM1 is increased water damage dealt by 10%. So if she's doing another one of those elemental damage, then you're going to want to use her LMR instead, because it's element agnostic. So it's actually a pretty decent LMR for her, and this is a potent LMR for ninjas, I think. I can't say for certain because the other one in the game that we have currently is Edge, has this exact same LMR. I haven't used it, so I'll have to wait for other people to speak of its usefulness. Because I can't, but it sounds like it would be useful, considering the way ninjas work. And then we have Zack's LMR. Which sounds like it stinks. 50% chance to chase with a single 1.08 physical attack that deals wind damage after using a celerity ability. So a 50% chance to just do a basic wind attack. It's just a single attack, so it's not really like chain. It's not beneficial to the chain. That's his only way to increase the chain after using it. But still, it's a 50% chance. I don't know. This LMR sucks. His LM1 is basically better in every way. Right? Yeah. Not only does celerity abilities affect his ability to use Dervish now, and his burst soul break. Yeah, it's just 15% extra damage. It's more than this. Whatever. His LMR stinks. And it just stinks that that's on the banner. Let's take a look at the banner for Elementalness. Whew. Fusion's Burst is it. Fusion's Burst is it. Oh, I Can Rainmaker. Thief, Final Fantasy 1.
Are you drunk?
Thank you very much, Jimbo. No. Ooh, Sharp Charity.
Banner Sundown, Sharp Charity.
Oh, no problem, Lure. Glad you could make it. Well, I know Blyven, but it's just so weak. That's all. Sharp Charity is back. All right, what's everyone have to say about that banner? I'll put it on screen. Oh wait, I haven't come up with alternatives. One alternative that someone just came up with in chat is the water pickup banner.
Not drunk enough.
I forgot the Sharp Charity.
The water pickup banner in January is going to have some good stuff on it, it looks like. Titus USB, right?
シャープチャリティ
Edge USB. So if you're looking for water damage, that could be an alternative. Let's see if could this compete. I mean, Titus Chain is just so good, and Eufy Bursts, Titus BSB2. You know, honestly, this is such a wind banner. It's because of that Kamari USB. It kind of messes up the top end. I wish we knew more information on the water pickup banner. Titus Chain was not on the water pickup banner. I'm pretty sure his USB and OSB were, right? Oh. The second water pickup might be the one you're thinking of. No, yeah, this is the right one. We don't know if this is actually what's going... We know that this isn't why it's going to be on the banner because Maya's OSB and Maya's BSB are here. So this is going to be shuffled around a bit, but this is something that's going to happen. I do like the banner. Titus's chain is good. Zach's chain is good. Cloud's USB is powerful. There's good burst soul breaks. It is a good banner. It just it has to kind of align with you. Say, I mean, look, what's my assessment? I can't pull on this, and that's because I have Titus's chain. I have the most powerful relic, arguably most powerful relic on the banner. I'm looking at you, Cloud. So it just kind of makes it a bunch of pretty decent constellation prizes, which is not enough to pull on a banner anymore. The reason I would pull on this banner, despite having Titus's CSB, would be if I wanted to start investing in a physical win team. So if I wanted to start investing in a physical win team, is this the banner I would want to go at? And honestly, I think it's the best for 3 months. And I want to start investing in a physical win team. So, and I had this dilemma earlier today when I first saw these banners. I got to banner 3. I dismissed banner 1 and 2. Then I got to 3 and I'm like, wow, I want to start doing physical wins. So this banner is very interesting to me. So when I like come to that conclusion, at any time I start looking for alternatives. Like would it be a mistake to pull here when I could pull elsewhere? And as long as it's not too far into the future, because I think that's doing yourself a disservice as well. I did stumble upon something. Someone suggested in Discord. I forget who it was. But it's like on the very edge of what I would consider as something that I want to stall for. And it's 3rd anniversary. It's a while. It's late March. Remember, festivals at the end of every 3rd month. But 3rd anniversary is very, very likely to have what we have currently. We have a powerful, or a single elemental fire banner and a single elemental earth banner. We're likely to have a single elemental wind banner come 3rd anniversary. And that is thanks to Lunith and Zach. Lunith's UOSB debuts here. Zach's USB debuts here. Along with Lunith's flash art. It is a single elemental wind banner, and they filled in the gaps. I can't guarantee anything past what debuts here with Lunith's UOSB and Zach's USB, but Zach's CSB, Cloud USB, and Lunith USB also appear here. So it and Bart's BSB4, yeah. It's hard to look at this current Banner 3 and say, I want to start investing in physical wind, but in order to do so with this current Banner 3, I have to risk getting water things at the same time. That may not be a problem for you, but it is for me. With this banner, I don't have to do that. I can throw Mithril at it, and it's gonna return something good for me. That's just that's value that you need to look for, right? I have to do that. So I immediately, once I saw that Lunith and Zach debuted powerful Whim Relics during this festival, I had to say that I'll suck it up and wait. There is no Fest Water banner. Water does happen on a banner 5, but it's paired up with fire. We have no way to know that those will be paired up together, because those are two different elements where it would be very likely that all wind relics would be paired together. And that's why I feel more confident about this banner. If I felt more confident that this banner would be as similar as it is, I would say this banner is disgusting. It's even better. This is the banner that makes Yuffie as powerful as she is. But like we don't know that these are going to be paired up with each other. We don't know that a lot of the other stuff that appears on this banner will be here. I don't want to like mislead anybody into thinking that these banners stay the same in any capacity. They're subject to change. I just personally feel that there's a high probability that a lot of this stuff stays because of all of the new wind things. Yeah, exactly, Blyven. Don't do that. Don't do that. But it's more like, because this banner has a lot of conflict to me, it makes it worth holding out. I don't think so, Senbu. I just think that Global's banners change, which means that no matter what, they betray people's expectations because people's expectations were invalidly. God, man, why is English escaping me so bad here? Yeah, eDaddy. But again, 4-star Magicite has been, the date has been mined already, and that's for January 31st. So it's not going to line up with our 3rd anniversary festival. Nope. Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying Rainmaker. Yeah, I agree. People gain expectations, and then the banners change, and even though the banners aren't actually better or worse, sometimes they are better, sometimes they are worse, but because they changed and people's expectations are dashed, that makes people think that the banners are worse, when they're not. All right. Ooh, God, that felt like a longer one. Yeah, it was. So, is there any other questions that people may have about that banner? Because I did kind of ring off like my own opinion, but I don't know. I think that banner, more than even the other two, is very, very suited for people's personal situations. So it requires more of a personal touch. Dawn Symphony, yeah, sort of. I have been talking about the elemental nature of the relics themselves by referencing this excellent little chart that somebody made. Jackums, thank you. It bold faces the elemental relics that appear on banners.